And also at this moment as we speak, remember, there is a lot of diplomatic effort that is at this moment being carried out in a bid to try and ensure that some kind of truce can, of course, be reached. The war between Israel and Hamas is escalating. Israel has released new footage of its incursion into the northern Gaza Strip. Now, the United Nations General Assembly, remember, has called for a humanitarian truce. Several Arab leaders have condemned Israel's aggression. Hamas's most prominent backer, Iran, has in fact given a clear warning. Iran's foreign minister has said that Lebanese and Palestinian fighters have got their fingers in the trigger in anticipation of an Israeli ground offensive. He's also said that if the Israeli raid simply does not stop, the United States would also not be spared from this fire. Now, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is, of course, at this moment of time hosting a rally in Istanbul where he is addressing the gathering. This is being dubbed as one of the largest pro-Palestinian rallies since the Israel-Hamas war began. Now, Turkey has condemned the ongoing Israeli bombardment of the Palestinian civilians. It also criticized Western nations' unconditional support for Israel as it goes about with its bombardments. On Thursday, Arab leaders issued a collective appeal for an immediate ceasefire, and Israel's continuous airstrikes have caused severe shortages of food, water, medicines and supplies. Saudi Arabia, one of the dominant decision makers in West Asia, has condemned the latest Israeli operations in northern Gaza. Qatar's representative has backed a ceasefire in the United Nations, while she's also highlighted the scarcity of the basic needs for people in Gaza.
ورفضها القاطع للحصار الشامل المفروض من قبل إسرائيل السلطة القائمة بالاحتلال على قطاع غزة، والذي يحرم 2.3 مليون إنسان، نصفهم من الأطفال، من احتياجاتهم الأساسية بما فيها الماء والغذاء والدواء والكهرباء.
To give us more perspective in terms of what the situation at this moment is like in the Gaza Strip, we're being joined by Ms. Nibal Farsak, who's in fact the spokesperson for the Palestinian Red Crescent Society. She's joining us live from Ramallah in West Bank. Now, Ms. Farsak, we've witnessed some of the most intense bombardments on the Gaza Strip in the last 12-odd hours. We were also given to understand that communications had been completely blacked out in the Gaza Strip. Tell us what the situation is like at this moment in the Gaza Strip.
Unfortunately, we have lost communication completely with our colleagues in Gaza. Since yesterday evening, we are unable to communicate with our hospitals, emergency medical services in Gaza, as well as all of our colleagues who are currently working on the ground in Gaza. We are extremely worried about the safety of our staff there, especially that they are conducting their humanitarian role and life-saving services under intense bombardment that is taking place all over Gaza.
Right. Now, Ms. Farsak, there were reports that in some places, some of the reporters, they were able to, in fact, reach out and speak with some of their other colleagues. Are you saying that you've not been able to speak with any of your staff members since yesterday night?
Yes, that is the situation. Up to this moment, we even unable to know if they are still safe, if they are doing well or not. That's why we are extremely worried regarding the safety of our colleagues there. Also, due to the complete cut of all communication, landline, cellular, as well as internet connection, that means that over 2 million Palestinians in Gaza now are denying access to emergency medical services because simply they can't even call the ambulances services. So obviously our teams now are facing great challenges in order to arrive the wounded people and try to save them as fast as they can. This absolutely will make the time of the response higher, because now they need more time in order to reach the wounded people. Also take into consideration there are many hundreds or thousands emergency cases. There's women who are expecting to give birth at any moment. We're talking about 5,500 women are expecting to give birth this month. Those also are denied access to the emergency medical services, which put their lives into danger because they can't even make a call for the ambulances.
I think that's very grave there. And also, one of the biggest fears that has dominated a lot of reports that have come out ever since the Israeli Defense Force yesterday put out the video that they suspect that Hamas has got its main headquarters underneath the Al-Shifa hospital, which is the biggest medical facility in the whole of the Gaza Strip. Have you heard anything on that front? Because a lot of people fear that the Al-Shifa hospital could in fact come under attack by the Israelis.
Unfortunately, since the beginning of the escalation, Israel has attacked literally everything: residential buildings, homes, schools, hospitals, even places of worship, whether mosque or even the Catholic Church that was hit with Israeli bombardment. We have witnessing attacking and bombardment of Al-Ahli hospital in Gaza. So absolutely, we are extremely concerned regarding attacking any of the hospitals in Gaza Strip, since hospitals should be protected and respected according to the international humanitarian law and to all international laws. Unfortunately, this is not the case in Gaza. At Al-Shifa hospitals, there is also at least 50,000 Palestinians who are internally displaced and they sought refuge inside the hospital. So this obviously put the lives of them also into danger, besides the staff, medical staff, as well as patients. We, as the Palestine Red Crescent, are part of the international movement of the Red Cross and Red Crescent. Actually, we believe in humanity, neutrality, and impartiality. Unfortunately, we are running two hospitals in Gaza, and one of them, which is Al-Quds Hospital, has received a serious threat from Israeli occupation forces to evacuate the hospital because it's going to be under bombardment. So that's why this is the case. Israel always try to find any kind of justification to attack hospitals and civilians. We call on the international community to pressure Israel to stop attacking civilians as well as healthcare personnel and healthcare facilities.
Absolutely. Attacking hospitals is, of course, a war crime. And also very quickly, Ms. Fasak, because we are short of time, at this moment, Gaza has been under siege for 21 days now. Medical supplies would be running out. Give us a sense, what it is like for organizations such as yours, the Red Crescent, to in fact operate and provide medical aid for the Gazan people within the Palestinian territories.
Unfortunately, up to this moment, we were able to allow only 84 trucks to get into Gaza Strip, which has humanitarian aid, food, water, medical supplies, and medicine. This is absolutely just a drop in the ocean. It doesn't fulfill the needs of 2 million, at least now in Gaza, are live in hunger without food or water. So this absolutely doesn't feed at 2% of this population. Taken into consideration also as for the hospitals, all hospitals in Gaza now are witnessing a collapse status. They are actually collapsing due to running out of fuel as well as extreme shortages of medical supplies and medicine. Unfortunately, the humanitarian efforts have failed to pressure Israel to allow the entry of fuel, which is now urgently needed because all hospitals are running out of fuels, which we extremely depend on in order to have electricity. We call on safe, non-stop entry of humanitarian aid into Gaza Strip, including fuel.
Absolutely, indeed. We are completely out of time. Thank you, Ms. Nibal Fasak, for joining us and getting us that perspective there and telling us as to what the reality at this moment is or what is happening within the Gazan territory.
Thank you.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.